What up? It's your boy Bobby Crillz, and right now you're tuning into the Heart of the City Podcast, episode number 2. And today I'm sitting here with my man. Some of y'all might know him, some of y'all might not, but if you don't, you're living under a rock. I got my man Lorenzo Cardona in the building, a.k.a. Zoe, a.k.a. Zoe Sounds, a.k.a. ZoeDaEngineer. One of the greatest out of the city. You already know what it is. Zoe, what up, baby?
What's good, man? How's everything, yo?
Chilling. Salud. Thank you for being here.
Salud, bro. I appreciate you having me here, bro.
So, as you guys know, this Heart of the City podcast is basically me interviewing people that I feel are influential in their cities or wherever they're from. They're out here grinding. They've made a name. They're doing everything that they got to do to keep prospering in what they're doing. And you are a fine example of that, my man. I've known you for quite a long time, and I've seen the transformation to who you are right now.
At least 30 years, bro.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Kempo Karate, bro. Yep. Malone's Kempo Karate.
Exactly. Yeah, if it's that time, then it's 30 years. 30 years on the dot.
Yeah, so
crazy.
I mean, we got a lot to catch up on, so let's get it started, man. Where you from, man? Matter of fact, where were you born? Where were you born, for everybody that doesn't know?
I was born in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. Same hospital we all was like born in, Raritan Center, Raritan Bay Medical Center, right there. Born and raised in Perth Amboy, never grew up anywhere else. Just a kid out there. Grew up on State Street, grew up on Jackwood Street. Then as I got older, I moved over to Jeffrey Street, and then that's where I really grew up at.
That's where you became the man that.
Yeah, trying to learn. Yeah, I got into.
That's where you became
when I got to Jeffrey Street, that's when I was like, all right, I'm trying to get into music and everything.
Okay.
So all the music stuff happened at my crib over by Shell School in Jeffrey Street.
I remember you had a drum set in your basement.
Hell yeah.
You used to be rocking out
all the time.
Yeah,
I used to rock that out all the time, and I always had the cops coming to the house, knocking on the door because I was making too much noise. So, but yeah, man, that used to be fun because my parents never told me to stop.
They encouraged it.
Yeah, they're like, all right, downstairs, just make noise.
Staying out of trouble.
Whatever, stay out of trouble. Anything. All right, the cops came. Was our son downstairs playing the drums. They weren't going to do nothing.
And a big fucking whoop. You want to fight about it?
Yeah, exactly. Whoopsie. What you going to do? I'm 10.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. All right. So, heritage, man. What are you? White, black, Puerto Rican, Dominican?
I'm Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Well, I guess half and half, you say, because I was born over here in Amboy, but all I know is Puerto Rican. I'm full blown.
Your parents are Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah, everyone Puerto Rican.
You speak Spanish?
Yeah, I speak Spanish. Good. And everyone over where I'm from in Puerto Rico is San Sebastian, Puerto Rico. So that's where all my family's at over there.
You travel there often?
Man, I haven't been there in 3 years, but I've been there plenty of times.
Okay.
But it's right now it's been a little too long, so I gotta get back over there soon. I'm definitely trying to get more into Spanish music and everything, so I can have more trips to go to these Latin American places.
Have you heard the Bad Bunny album?
Mm-hmm. Bad Bunny's album's awesome. That one we got with Chencho, that song's fire.
Can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Do you think him and Lil Dicky are the same person?
Nah. Yo,
I feel that way. I'm the only person on the planet, bro.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's the same person. It's just Lil Dicky's fucking.
I never even looked at them like that, but that is so funny.
It's a pretty similar look, right?
Yeah, it's a similar look.
That's funny, man. Yeah, all right, so let's get into it. How did you how did you get into music? What was it?
I think when I was a kid, I just always had an ear for music or for something because, I'll say probably the age of 4 or 5, I used to sit in the living room with my sister and we would watch videos on MTV. Now I would watch Snoop Dogg, What's My Name, and then I would see Snoop Dogg perform the song, and I used to go to my sister, yo, why does the song sound different in the music video than when he performs it live? She told me, because it's not mixed.
She broke down the whole science for you.
Yeah, but I never even I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't even understand what that meant. I was too young to understand that. But after I got older and stuff, I clicked in my head. But music was just always around me in general. Yeah. Saturday mornings, my mom's cleaning up the house with salsa music on, singing everywhere. just watching music videos and TV, having like the being in my grandmother's house. She would have the vinyl records, and the vinyl records get played. I remember she had Michael Jackson Off the Wall. My sister and I used to go and put that on, listen to it and everything.
Just rocking out.
Yeah, just rocking out. But like really, one of the biggest influences of music for me was my sister. I guess because she's 6 years older than me, and she was always like on like a different wavelength with music, what she was listening to, and also understanding what like my aunts were listening to at the time too, because they weren't old either. They were like in their early 20s when I was a kid. But like my sister was listening. My sister would listen to like Outkast, Peaches and Herb, and then right after Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
And then right after Escape.
Yeah.
And SWB.
So just a bunch of diverse.
Yeah, and then Backstreet Boys she would listen to.
So she was all
she
very
had
diverse.
cassettes and CDs. She had everything. So I remember I used to go in her room and listen to music with her. But then when we got older and we moved over to Jeffrey Street, like those times, that was my adolescent times.
Yeah.
Where I'm like 4, 5, 6 years old. Then when I got to 10 and I went, we moved over to Jeffrey Street. We got a computer, and my sister was downloading music on it all the time.
LimeWire.
Yeah, like Napster, LimeWire, all that stuff. So we'd be down there downloading hella music, and I would like go down there by myself, and we would have the music in the same playlist, and I would listen to what she downloaded. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
So she got me onto like I've Got 5 on it by Lil Nees.
Okay.
And then on freestyle music too, like with Stevie B and Cynthia and Johnny O. And then Spanish music.
I'm just hearing all the range of this. It's like you have a big range of
I remember,
stuff.
Bro. I remember I was just so influenced with just a lot of different music for everything, and really it was because of my sister. She really like diversed me at that time.
Shout out to your sister.
Yeah,
man. Jesus.
Mm-hmm. And then like she was like so ahead of her time for like, you know, being able to answer that question for me, like, oh, it's not mixed. Like, how do you know that? She was 12 when I was 6.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know that at that age? And I would be like, yo, why do we listen to some artist at some part of the year, but then at another part of the year, they're not even out. Nobody knows about them. And she's like, oh, because they don't have nothing to promote. They don't have a CD coming out or anything. Like, how do you...
She was just witty like that.
Yeah. And when I got older, I used to think back, like, yo, how did my sister know all this stuff?
Yeah.
And, like, to this day, I still don't know how she knew it.
That's dope.
Yeah, man. And then I remember I got into 5th grade. I remember one day I'm in lunch. I think, in the lunchroom with all the other 5th graders. And the band director, Mr. Gronder, was on stage showing us the instruments and everything to the whole class. And he played the drums. And I was like, I want to do that. So then that's when I started playing drums. And I almost didn't become a drummer either.
What were you going to play?
Well, I wanted to play the drums, but you had to be chosen to be a drummer because everyone wanted to play the drums.
Yeah.
So my mom had called the shell school and spoke to Gronder and was like, hey,
can you get my kid in there?
No, my mom was like, hey, I just want to know what my son would need to become a drummer. Like what like anything like that he needs right now so he could practice at home or anything like that. We didn't know. My mom and I didn't know that they only chose a couple kids to be drummers.
Yeah.
My mom just assumed that all the kids who wanted to play drums would play drums. And then he told her on the phone, like, well, I only choose a selective amount of kids every year to play drums because so many kids want to play. But since you called and you're a concerned parent,
making an effort,
I'm gonna choose your son.
Yeah.
So he chose me to be a drummer, and my mom took me like the next day to the music shop that was by McDonald's.
Lello's, right?
Lello's music
Yeah,
shop.
I remember that.
And I bought my first drumsticks, and I bought my first little drum pad there.
Yeah.
And that's how it all
Rest
started.
is history.
Yeah.
All right.
That's where it started.
So you learned how to read music and all that stuff through band.
Yep.
So that was the foundation. That was the foundation.
Yeah, that whole thing was the foundation. Right?
So for those of y'all listening, man, like his foundation started way before even touching audio recording. This guy's playing live instrumentation. He learned how to read music. I'm pretty sure he could write music too.
All day. I used to write drum patterns all the time for the music for when we were in high school.
Yeah.
All the time.
That's something that it's a forgotten skill, something that people don't realize is needed, especially
it's
in
art. It's an art form. It's just that now
it's a language.
That form of language is different now than what it is now because now that language has become what we use and what we see in Pro Tools and in Fruity Loops and everything in colors, in wavelengths, and in bars. But what helps with me is that when I listen to music, when I'm working on music, I can see the music notation in my head because that's where my bass comes from.
Yeah.
Being a musician first, so that's where like my advantage is with all that. But yeah, and then when I got into high school, I remember.
Before you get there, who were you in high school? How were you? What was your demeanor? What kind of person were you in high school?
I feel like I was a person that was cool with like everyone. I had a lot of different crews I was cool with.
Yeah.
I had a lot of older friends and I had
shy
a lot
guy?
of younger friends. I don't think I was that shy.
Because I remember you in high school.
I think I was more of like selective on who I spoke to and everything
Yeah.
like that. And whoever fucked with me, I like that they knew I really fucked with them.
Yeah.
And they knew who I really was. You know what I mean? Like I just didn't. I was cool with everyone. I'll say hi to everyone and everything, but I wouldn't just put myself out there for people to know who I was.
Yeah.
And that. So that's really how I was. But I had emo friends. I had athletic friends.
Yeah.
I had friends that did music.
Your social life matched your musical diversity.
Yeah, it was super diverse. Super diverse. So like, and think about it. Our homies that we're around all the time. All my bros, they're all older than me. I'm the youngest one. I'm the second to youngest one. J.I., you, Kaz, Ahi, everyone's 2 to 4 years older than me. Shakes, 5 years older than me. You know? So it's like we're all at these different ages. Same thing, different ages, but I was always the youngest one. But I always had different friends in every walk of life, and I still do. Yeah. I got my homies over here, and I got my homies on the West Coast. I got homies down south. I got homies in the Midwest. Got more homies in the Northeast. Everywhere I'm going,
and that's a statement to your character. It's like you get along with a lot of people.
I'm a Gemini.
You're a twin.
Yeah.
You get along with a lot of people, which is good. He's very social. He knows how to handle himself in all types of environments.
Yeah, you got to know how to work the room, whatever room you're in. And you got to learn how to read people, for sure.
Yeah.
Because if you really don't know how to read people, or really know what they want, they could step all over you.
Yeah.
They could step all over you real easily.
I'm sure you've experienced a lot of that.
Oh, yeah. You could tell who's real and who's fake.
Yeah.
All the time.
All right, so how did you get into the engineering?
So when I was in high school, one of my good friends, Anthony Hernandez.
I remember Anthony.
He used to be in the band with me. He had long hair. He was Mr. Baja Panti. That was like my bro, you know? Especially growing up, I just was always around him, and he was someone at the time too that I was I really looked up to. So he was in a band, a bachata group, I remember, with my other homies, and it was with my homie Sammy Gomez, Joel Gomez, and it was called Grupo Fantasy. And
I remember that.
He wanted to get into this thing called engineering. So we was always hanging out, listening to music, listening to reggaeton, listening to salsa, bachata, all this stuff. And he was looking into his next step of going to school. And I was like a junior in high school. And he was like, yo, I want to do this thing called engineering. And I was like, oh, shit. So we looked it up. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But I'm like, damn, this is so far-fetched. Just so happens, 2 weeks later, they had a career day at school. And the school, Jacksonville University, showed up. And they had a program for audio engineering there. So I go up to the table and I'm like, yeah, I want to do that thing with the knobs and the faders up and down.
That's all you knew.
Records. Yeah, that's all I knew. She goes, and the lady goes to me, yeah. Oh, so you want to become an audio engineer? And then I was like, yeah, that'd be great. I want to do something like that. I want to do something in the music field. So she gave me a pamphlet, and in the pamphlet it was telling me a lot oh, you gotta make a video and send a video of you performing, playing the drums and everything like that.
Like a acceptance type of thing?
Yeah, an acceptance thing, because that was part of your acceptance to get there. You have to show that you're a musician, then they'll accept you in there, kind of, and then you could get into the audio world.
So did you get in there? Or
so
you ended up going somewhere else?
I never sent the video over there. But the thing was that that school gave me the info I needed to find other schools that had what I wanted. Yeah. And when I went home too, and I'm like, Mom, they got the Jacksonville University, got this school. Mom was like, hell no, you are not going to Jacksonville. Yeah. You're too young to be going out of state to live on your own. Yeah. And that was really the best thing my mom ever, one of the best things my mom did. She
kept you close.
Really held me down with that. Yeah. When she told me that, I took years later, but I understood what she meant. Yeah. She was right. She was definitely right with that. But then I was just looking at other schools that had what I wanted, and I finally knew what it was called. Yeah. Audio engineering. So I started looking at other schools. I found William Patterson University in Jersey. I told my mom I had to audition there too. So I went to William Patterson University for my first 3 years. And I went over there, auditioned, I got in school, and I started learning how to become an audio engineer over there.
And that's where you got your knowledge from.
Yeah, I got my knowledge from. But then
you took classes like in audio theory and music theory and stuff
music theory. I was taking classes in music education, audio engineering classes,
learning all types of things,
all types of music business classes.
Yeah.
I was taking and stuff. But then I transferred from there, and then I went to Bloomfield College. Then I went to Bloomfield College for another 3 years, and I graduated from there instead.
I remember that too.
And it was
got a good internship. Didn't you get like a good cool ass internship?
I got this cool internship one time in Freehold, New Jersey.
Yeah.
It was, and that was the internship I did while I was in school. It was my homie Sean. He had a studio out in Freehold.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything, man, at all. But my dude Sean and my boy Mr. Larry Friday, he got a studio up in Wells Fargo. Man, Larry Friday was like really one of the first people that like when I was starting to take this shit serious, like that really showed me, how to do it. But the main first person, like I had Anthony to show me what this world audio engineering was. But the main first person to ever show me even how to record anything or even what was about to happen and that really changed my life was my homie Shakes.
Amen.
Because I used to go to his crib. We all used to go to his crib. He used to he had his whole setup. He had the board. I remember we had to put a cassette in.
Yeah.
And there was this one day I was over there, and I remember that him and Jay were looking through vinyls, and they were trying to cut them up, like find samples.
Shout out to this fucking story. This shit is so hip hop right here.
Yo, Shakes, he goes to me, yo, son, look what I got. And he turns his computer on, and I was like, what is that?
Pro Tools.
He goes, yo, it's called Pro Tools. I was like, what is this? And he goes, yo, you see everything we could do on the faders? We could do on the computer now. And I was like, what? And I remember that's when I was like, oh, shit.
We gotta give Shakes his flowers, man, because
my whole mind went like,
I feel we gotta give Shakes his flowers, because hearing that is real, because I was there. I was around for that. And Shakes taught everybody so much. A lot of people don't understand how knowledgeable
Shakes was the only person that had gear in the crib that he was getting from Radio Shack.
Yeah.
He was getting like outboard.
He like molded our whole squad, bro. Like him himself. Like if it wasn't for him, like we would have really not figured things out.
Had the way he would cut samples and everything. Like oh shit, Shakes was a DJ too.
Man,
like,
shout out to Shakes.
He knew all of that stuff. So I remember being in his basement, seeing Pro Tools for the first time.
So
and ain't having no one else had it. But Shakes did. I was like, yo, okay, now I'm starting to get what the fuck is happening.
So in your career, like who's influenced you the most?
Well, like
if you had to pick like a top 2 mentors, I know you have one mentor.
I had one great mentor as a drummer when I was coming up. His name is Juan Carlos Mendoza. That was definitely someone that was very influential to me with drumming and everything as I was coming up, and put the battery in me of like learning how to play music. But like 2 other people that were like super influential to me was definitely Coach Giordano, because like he gave me the tough love I needed. Yeah. I got the love from home.
So you AWO alumni too?
AWO all day, bro.
Okay, look at that. Shout out to AWO.
Yeah, man. So he gave me the tough love and the love I needed to understand like how to walk as an adult in life. Yeah. Nah, you're a sucker. I'm not fucking with you, and to realize what's real and what's fake. Yeah. So like.
And who's the other?
Definitely. And the one that my like music wise, like from just town was Mr. Carl Broadbeck. He's the one that one day I came into school 7th grade, and he's like, we were in front of the whole band. I'm in 7th grade. It's the 7th and 8th grade of the band. He goes, hey, get yourself a whistle. You're going to be the captain next year.
Freshman.
Yeah. And I'm like 7th grade, they're telling me this. Yeah. I'm like, oh, and this is about to be the next year. And that's when you're like, oh man, I'm actually good at this. Yeah. Damn, maybe I could be something with this. Yeah. And then it was just like he planted that seed in there, and he like really, really believed in me.
I just like hearing the foundation being made, bro. Like you've been in this shit for a long time, and you've definitely put in the work, and they say it takes 10,000 hours to master something. Mm-hmm. Ever heard that?
Yeah,
you devenly put in 10,000
I put 10,000 hours, 5 years ago. But in every aspect of on my path, there has been someone that has influenced me somehow from adolescent to now. You know what I mean? And I think it's like what they say too about like we always change every 7 years of our lives. Yeah. You know, we're supposed to mature every 7 years of our life, and I feel like that's happened to me. Like every part of my journey, I've had someone that's helped me or like mentored me along the way. Because when I got out of high school and I got into when I graduated school, and I got into my internship at Quad, my big main mentor there was Mr. David Rosner.
That's
Dave
the guy that passed away, right?
That passed away. Rest in peace to Dave Ros, man. And like, he almost fired me once as an intern. Cause I threw my big birthday bash in Atlantic City and I almost had the whole Quad Studios like
was it that year that
work.
We were at Ocean?
At Ocean.
Yeah.
And he called me, you fucking fired. What the fuck? I got no one for the studio this week. Come on now, what the hell, you fired.
Well, look at you now, man.
Yeah,
look at you now.
So like he taught me. He's the one that taught me a lot about the game.
So real quick, you worked in all these like legendary studios. I don't even want to get into the list of studios because you've been in every single one.
Yeah, practically every single.
Who were your favorite artists to work with?
One of my favorites was Kendrick Lamar. That was dope. That was an experience.
Flex.
That was a crazy experience.
It's such a flex.
Super flex. Oh shit. Him. My homie Black Bear. Yeah, he always showed me.
I remember
love,
the Black Bear
man.
wave.
Yeah,
Black
man.
Bear wave.
That was a great ride with him. He really the one that like really trusted me with his music first. With everything.
We all know the Grammy nomination.
Yeah, Post is cool as fuck. Post is the homie. I got nothing but good things to ever say about him. He's always showed me love every time I see him. He always gives me a big hug. It's always been like it was like the first day when we met, you know. So he's still like every time we pass by each other, he still remembers my face. And then with that whole situation, just a lot of people from that whole situation I'm still really, really close with and really cool with that I've seen in the studios now. It was just like we got this special bond with what we did, you know? So like, yeah, man.
So I mean, you've worked with the top guys in the game. So many more to mention, I know, but you know, we'll save that for future because you got a lot of things in the works.
Yeah, for sure. So I've worked a lot in Cali. And I'm with my brothers over there from 1500 or Nothing. Shout out to my bros out there. They showed me a lot of love. My homie Fluff, my homie Rance, Pops, my homie Q. But like, you know, they put me on a lot of stuff to work on. So like right now I've been working on this movie that's supposed to be coming out next month called On the Come Up.
Okay.
I was just working on the new Joey Badass album. That I think it dropped yesterday. It should or is going to be dropping.
I think it's
soon.
like coming within the next couple of days.
Yeah, so like I've been working on his album. That was dope. Did a lot of records for different artists from Warner Chappell and Warner Records.
Yeah.
Man, I got right now. I'm investing in throwing my own private events.
Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get there.
I got a bunch.
I don't want to take too much time there, but at this point in your career, how do you gauge it? Are you where you want to be? Is there still so much more you want to accomplish? Is there like one goal? Is there an end game for you?
I never really had goals in this. So like my goals, I reached them a long time ago because now I'm doing things I never even thought of I could do. So like I never knew what I wanted to do could take me to do all these new things and like that I never even thought of, I never even dreamt of doing. So now like every single day I'm waking up to try and figure out what's new that I can do. You know, what else can I do to push the envelope? How I could put other people on the map and stuff. So am I where I want to be yet? No, because now I've had like a taste of success and I want more of it now.
So now that's going to lead me to, this is a perfect segue to what you were trying to say before. So at this point in your career, you've been very successful. You know, you've met a lot of good people, networked, you've rubbed shoulders with everybody the right way. You've been talking about investing in real estate in these events that you've been doing. We'll talk a little bit about that. We don't got too much more time,
so I'm starting to get into real estate, investing in real estate. A good friend of mine, shout out to Dr. Sound, and we're basically on the verge of purchasing some property in Chicago.
Okay.
You know, so there's a couple, I think it's like 6 to 8 apartments.
Okay.
In
an apartment building.
An apartment building, yeah.
Okay.
So we're getting into that first. That's in the works. And then right now, I also got these private events I've been putting on called Blunts and Brunch events.
Okay.
And what we're really doing is that we are creating events that have to do with with cannabis. And you come to our private event. You could bring your own cannabis. You could smoke as much as you want and hang out. You could bring your own liquor. And we're just trying to vibe out and really show like the bougie side, expensive side of it. Yeah. The side that makes you feel good and shows why this brings everybody together. And it doesn't even matter how much money you got in your pocket. Because either way, just this camaraderie with it, that it brings everyone together and it brings them on this certain frequency where it's just like everyone can be on a great vibe.
Some loud will do that.
Yeah, for sure. It does it all the time in the studio. So like I'm definitely getting into that. That's like in the baby stages right now, but because we're thinking about all different types of events that we can do. We've been thinking about like yacht parties and art galleries and lounge events, and we're trying to bring it to a level that it feels expensive at all times. We're not trying to do anything half-assed. Everything's going to look great. You're going to feel great. You're going to feel good about you and where you're at. And everyone's going to be feeling the same exact way. So that's what we're really focusing on, to just, that expensive side, to make everyone feel good and proud about themselves, and they feel, that they could chill.
So on that note, I don't want to keep you too much longer, but, sounds like you got a lot going on. You want to tell everybody where they can find you?
Everyone can find me on Instagram, ZoeDaEngineer, ZoeDa Engineer. You can find me on Twitter, ZoeDaEngineer. You can find me on Snapchat, ZoeDaEngineer. And you can look me up basically online on Google and just type my name, Lorenzo Cardona. All my info comes up.
There you go, baby.
That's the easiest way.
So, signing off, Heart of the City Podcast, episode number 2. Zoe, appreciate you, my brother.
Anytime, bro.
Bobby Crillz, signing out. Love y'all, man.